insurance policy. And doing the review, I noticed that she was missing some incredibly important coverage, two different features that she should have had on her insurance policy, one of those being professional liability, and the second coverage being animal Bailey's coverage. And I put together some figures for her, and during the process, I learned that the insurance cost was almost identical, off by a few $100 difference per year from her current plan, a plan that was just general liability and didn't include professional liability or animal Bailey's coverage. And the little light bulb went off, and I thought, there's probably opportunity here. And I found out that she was just using a local insurance agent who wasn't specialized and didn't know that these coverages needed to be added to her policy, and actually told her, oh yeah, if a pet gets injured in your care, it's covered under general liability insurance coverage, which in fact is not the case. So that's kind of how I started going down the niche, and then I really honed in or started focusing initially on the mobile pet grooming space and getting a foothold in that area. So there's so many people I come across insurance policies on a daily basis. Somebody thinks, oh, I have insurance coverage and I'm paying $500 a year. And I know right off the bat, they tell me they're paying $500 a year. And I know they just have general liability insurance coverage. There's no professional liability coverage. There's no animal Baileys. Therefore, you're running a business taking care of pets and you've got no protection for those pets or yourself if they get injured in your care.
I have a question. What's the difference between professional liability and animal Bailey?
So these are two different insurance coverages that should be on every single pet groomer's insurance policy. Really, anybody that's taking care of pets. But the difference, there's professional liability covers a groomer while they're rendering their professional service. So to boil that down, it covers them in the event they injure the pet during the groom. So they're grooming a pet gets cut, pet gets injured while they're grooming, the professional liability insurance coverage is going to be the portion of the insurance policy that should be responding. If something happens outside of the groom, that's where the animal Baileys or animal floater coverage comes in and provides the coverage. So you're thinking, what could happen outside of the groom? Well, if you have a brick and mortar salon, a pet could escape the front door. Two pets could get in a fight. Or if you're a mobile groomer, you could come to my house and get my two dogs at the front door, have them on the leash, walking back to the rig, and the pets escape the leash, run across the street, get hit by a car, or run across the street and get lost, whatever the situation. That's the animal Baileys or animal floater portion. So typically when I'm talking to people, my explanation is, if you're grooming the pet gets injured, professional liability is going to be the portion that responds. If something happens outside of that, it's going to be that animal floater coverage or animal
Okay,
Bailey.
just a couple clarifying questions on that. You have a death in the salon. Let's say I do know of a salon. They washed and dried the dog, put it back in a crate, older dog, and the dog died. Of course, when they went to take the dog out, oh my gosh, the dog is dead. Would that be the Bailee or the professional?
That would fall under the animal Bailey's portion.
Okay. And then you have a case, well, with anybody handling, say I do know of one instance, bather, taking the dog from the tub to a drying table. Little dog wiggled out of their hand. It fell, the dog died. Now that dog was physically being handled by one of the professionals. So that would be the professional liability.
Correct.
Therein lies a bunch of the differences that people don't understand. Okay, good. Thank you for clarifying that for us.
Yep, so it's two critical, both of them, if you're running a grooming business, doesn't matter, you need to have those two insurance coverages. And a lot of people will go out, and if they're talking to an agent that doesn't specialize in the industry, the agent, I've heard this a ton of times, my agent told me that the pet is covered under my policy. They have general liability insurance coverage, and that's not the case. The general liability coverage applies to injuries of an actual of another human. So what I like to explain about that is, let's say you're a mobile groomer and one of those pets, you came to my door, my two dogs escaped the leash, ran across the street, knocked over a neighbor or bit a neighbor. Well, that's going to be your general liability portion of the insurance policy that will provide coverage. And there's so many insurance policies that I come across that the only coverage that they have is that general liability portion. So
Also
therefore
known
having
as slip and fall, right?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you definitely want that too. We've had some. Zach was given a perfect example of dogs running and knocking over a 90-year-old lady and breaking her hip and having a couple $100,000 surgery because the dog that was in your care, knocked over a lady that was walking across the street, and you got a couple $100,000 lawsuit for medical expense on your
Wow.
hands.
All these things that people just don't think about. Now, pricing, of course, everything we have has a dollar sign on it. My camera is kind of weird. I need a new camera. That's on my list this year. Um, the 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 pricing of it. When you price, is it kind of a general area, or is it priced by the number of employees, or the number of um, dogs you do a year, or the size of the shop, or what determines the pricing, or the gross income? What determines the
Yes.
pricing of the policy? Yeah.
Each of those is factored in, but the
Okay.
majority of the stake of the rating is derived from the revenue of the business.
Okay. So it's basically you do an audit of the business then.
Yeah. Typically, when we're preparing an insurance policy, we're going to ask different questions. So, when did your business start? What's your expected or estimated revenue? How many employees do you have? What's the square footage of your salon? So it depends on the actual operation and then the different insurance coverages that you're getting with that insurance policy. Most groomers are going to have a business owner's package. So it should encompass general liability coverage, professional liability coverage, animal Baileys or animal floater. It should cover also your property. And so these policies will differ whether you're an in-home groomer, whether you're a mobile groomer, or you're running a grooming salon. The amount of coverage that you're going to have is going to vary significantly as well. If you've got a 3,000 square foot salon with 15 tables and several grooming tubs, well, then your insurance needs and your insurance coverage limits are going to be much higher than the person running a one person salon or a mobile grooming operation. So when you're going and looking for insurance coverage, you want to make sure that the agent that you're talking to is asking the coverage. They're asking questions that enables them to put together a good picture of your business needs. And every insurance policy should be tailored specifically to one's business.
Got it. Now I notice we've got several salon owners on listening with them right now, and one of which is a mobile. Talk about mobile, because that's an animal all to itself. Yes.
Yeah, mobile needs are significantly different than a salon. Um, there's most of the coverage is going to be the same between the two businesses, but mobiles need some additional coverages that a typical salon isn't going to have, and one of those being mobile pet groomers equipment coverage. So easy property that travels around with you from job site to job
So like
site.
your clippers, those kind of things.
Yeah, a clipper vac, a dryer, um, yeah, shears,
Well,
product
it's
as well.
well, it's not just that, but when I hear of a van getting rear-ended, excuse me, and then having the whole back end kind of jacked on up, and the tub is not sitting right.
Yep,
They've got to go back to the manufacturer. They've got to pull that top and reset the tub.
yep, yep.
So you're saying most people don't have the conversions insured.
That's obviously the conversion is the livelihood of a mobile pet grooming business. The conversions are insured on the auto insurance policy. So a
Oh, they
mobile groomer
are.
should have.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Now, what's really important though for the business liability package or business owner's policy for a mobile groomer in that scenario is off-premises business income protection or mobile business income protection. Different than a salon, there's two different types of business income protection that an insurance policy for a mobile groomer should have. One of those being business on-premises business income protection, which is really it's business income protection at the business location or within 1,000 feet. And most mobile groomers businesses, that's their home address. In a salon, that's going to be the salon location. But for a mobile pet groomer, they should have this mobile business income protection, which is loss of revenue protection that is away from their business. So you just talked about a mobile groomer that got rear-ended and it messed up their tub. Vehicle needs to go back to manufacturer to be fixed. Well, that mobile groomer is now out of business for some duration of time. It could be 2 weeks. It could be 2 months. And they're now not able to generate revenue, period. They're sidelined. And they've still got bills to pay, they've got loans to pay, and that's where mobile business income protection or off-premises business income protection comes in and continues their revenue stream while they're unable to work due to an accident or a claim.
So it would actually provide them with a living wage at that particular point in time so they can exist until that mobile gets back on the road, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Something
So
they
they make $10,000 a month, and now they're out of business for a month. The insurance policy will replace that loss of revenue, that loss of
And
$10,000.
I know we spoke very briefly about this before we came on the air. A new area of our industry that is growing is house call groomers. These people that go physically into someone's house, maybe have a set of keys. And I know as a mobile, I had a mobile unit, and I had keys to clients' homes, and I made sure that my insurance company covered me in a bonding, because nobody wants to say, gee, my grandmother's diamond ring was there before I left, and the groomer came in, was the only one, and now it's missing. Talk to me about house call groomers and how you can cover those, how they can protect themselves.
They need there's two different types of coverage that they could get to cover this. One would be a bond. That's like the traditional route where a lot of people say, oh, I'm licensed and bonded. But also the insurance policies or business owners packages can include employee dishonesty coverage, which essentially is the same exact thing as that bond. What's different about a bond, though, is you have to repay. You're responsible to repay that bond, and that's different than an insurance policy, whereas the insurance company is footing the bill.
Can you explain that a little better? I don't understand that.
When you go to get a bond, you have to essentially put your credit information on file to obtain a bond, and the surety company or a bonding company, insurance company is a different term for that too, will essentially put up money in the event there's a claim. So let's call it $15,000. You're bonded for $15,000. And the scenario or situation just happens where the diamond ring goes missing, and now the bonding company's on the hook and has to pay $5,000 to replace that ring. The person that is bonded, the company that is bonded, then once that claim is settled and filed, has to repay that $5,000 back to the bond.
Wow, I had no idea that's the way bonding worked. So an insurance company of a dishonesty policy is a better way to go then, correct?
It is, yeah. It's like a traditional insurance claim where you're essentially moving the risk onto another party. So
Okay.
the insurance company pays for that claim, and you're not responsible. You're not required to then repay those funds.
Good. We have a question. We have Mary Tilson with us. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining us, first of all. What about brick and mortar if you are out due to fires or floods? There's an interesting question. Is there a policy like the one you said about loss of income from mobile groomers?
There's business income protection for a salon as well. It traditionally depends on what, it covers fire. If you have a fire in your salon and now your salon is closed for 3, 6 months, whatever duration of time, there's business income replacement, and that should be included in most business owners' policies. The coverage comes in several different ways. You can get a duration of time policy. So what we'll see most frequently in the grooming industry is that business income protection is on a 12-month actual loss sustained basis. That's a coverage limit. So your salon does $100,000 a year. There's a fire in the salon. You're now shut down for 6 months to do construction and get the facility back up and running. If you had 12 months actual loss sustained coverage, your insurance company will pay whatever your loss of revenue is for up to 12 months. So you're closed for 6 months. Your salon does $100,000 a year in revenue. Essentially, you just lost $50,000 in revenue because of that fire. The insurance company will continue, will pay for your actual loss, so up to 12 months of coverage.
And
So that in essence would help you take care of the employees that would also be out of work because of that fire? Okay.
Yes, it's going to cover your normal operating expenses. So your payroll expenses, your rent expenses, and then if you have property coverage, your policy should also pay for the renovations to get your salon back up in order.
Okay, very, very good. Good explanation. We've got a bunch of people on here too. We've got Aaron, who is a salon owner. We've got Rick Brosley, who is another one of our sponsors, annual sponsors. We've got with Hello Groom, the software. Mary Tilson, of course, we just answered her question. One thing I did jump ahead. Give us a little background. Where you guys, have you been in insurance your whole careers, or is this particular area something new for you? Fill us in.
All right. So I've been doing insurance. I'm going on 21 years. Our mom started the insurance agency 21 years ago, and I pretty much worked with her from day one, helping set up the computers, answer the phone, surfing a lot, and then coming to work when I felt like it for many years. But I took over the agency I think it was about 15 years ago at this point, and the last 10 years been focusing on the pet niche and pet related businesses. So we do insurance for veterinary clinics, for dog daycares, kennels,
grooming salons,
pet groomers, mobile pet groomers, grooming salons. Yes.
Are you brothers? Are you brothers?
Yeah, you can't tell.
There you go. Yeah, everybody, it's a family business. Love it. Yeah, great.
So my background was.
Joined,
I'll go for it. I joined last year, so I'm a newbie. I mean, I've always been pretty involved in the business. That's what we would talk about, family dinners and stuff. But my background is more around operations and retail. So retail management, large grocery chain, multiple stores, and then went into category management at a big grocery chain in Southern California, and did a lot with technology, sales, and operations. So that's kind of what I'm helping us do here is just implement our processes and serve our customers better, and kind of help us with the technology.
Yeah, and you're bringing you're the boots on the street really for a lot of this too, because that's what it basically is a lot of grooming is family business like that.
I've seen so much like in my store operations, right? Like so many claims, insurance. All my stores had over like 150 or 200 employees. So every single accident or thing that you could see happen at a grocery store, I've seen. And so that has really given us a unique perspective on how to manage claims and to coach, safety with all these like grooming salons and other things.
What kind of quick advice can you give to the average groomer out there that doesn't think they have accidents or doesn't think or thinks that they are already covered? What is some advice that you can give to some of these people just simply because you get your insurance policy in the mail? You got pages and pages of it, may as well be in Greek because the average groomer, myself included, you just don't read this stuff until you have to. What advice can you give people?
I'll start. I mean, Zach usually explains this pretty well, but insurance companies are financial institutions. They're holding the money. They pay out claims when they have to, and it's in their best interest to be profitable. So understanding that that's what an insurance company really is, and you know how to look out and protect yourself. That insurance company is there to protect you on the big claims and the big issues that could put you out of business, and that allows you to not sleep at night. But you know that's something that I've noticed a lot. We'll have a lot of minor incidents where a groomer may have cut a dog and it's $150 vet visit, and our recommendation is, hey, have a slush fund for those types of issues or those types of situations. And I had a call today, where we had a mobile groomer had a puppy that jumped off. This was a couple months ago. Jumped off the grooming table, punctured a lung, landed on a dryer, was in the vet hospital for 7 days, and I think it was $11,000 in medical bills. And that would have shut her. She would have had to operate for like 2 months to make that back. So that's kind of the way that you should think about risk.
So she was covered for that then, right?
She was covered for that.
Yeah, I think the simple advice I would give is spend some time to educate yourself on the insurance policy. Yes, it's 200 pages, typically the insurance policy of Greek, of a foreign language, but there's really there's a handful of insurance coverages that are going to pertain to your grooming salon or your grooming business. You should understand what those are and make sure that you have those on your insurance policy. And we have our stance in the industry is we really are here to educate. And I know what it's like to own and operate a business and be in it day to day. It's hard to see and to know what you don't know. And insurance is one of those things that I see a lot. People don't know anything until they really need to know something, or until they end up not having the insurance coverage that they need. And we put out a lot of content, a lot of educational videos that educate and provide you with the basic information that you need. Hey, you need general liability, you need animal Baileys, you need professional liability at a bare minimum. And where does it go from there? There's 3 additional coverages that you should have from there, which is a property insurance coverage, business income protection, and if you're mobile, mobile off-premises business income protection. That's on the liability side. Auto insurance is super simple. It's auto insurance, just like your personal vehicle, unless you've got, and then on top of that, if you've got a conversion, there's permanently attached equipment, and if you have employees, work comp coverage. It's not a lot. It's a lot all at once, and it's drinking through a fire hose. But if you spend some time looking at our website and looking at our content, you can fully educate yourself, and there's plenty of people to talk to in the industry to support you to make the proper decisions on how to insure your business.
Just related to what you just mentioned, when somebody says pick up and delivery of a dog, they may offer that as a service, or they may just do it for the one senior person. They drive their car over, they pick up the dog from the little old lady, drive it back, and there's an accident. There's an accident to the employee. There's an accident there's an injury to the dog. What happens? Is that a crossover with auto insurance, or because they're on the clock technically? I mean, where does that go? That sounds like a big gray area right there.
It could be a crossover of 3 different insurance policies. The pets are typically covered under the business owner's policy. So the pet's injured, it's going to be an animal Bailey's coverage scenario. The employee got in a car accident, so now we've got auto insurance involved. And if that employee got injured, well, now we've got a workers' compensation claim on our hands as well. But there is a gray area, mainly in that scenario that I'll come across most frequently is the auto insurance. A salon owner might not have the proper insurance coverage because they don't particularly own a vehicle they are allowing their employees to drive, or they're driving their own personal vehicle that has personal insurance coverage. So if the business doesn't own a vehicle, then they need to have hired and non-owned auto coverage on their liability insurance policy. If the business owns a vehicle, they should have commercial auto insurance coverage. And so, yeah, it's a gray area. It seems like, hey, nothing's going to happen. But I talk to business owners all day long, and we have employees run random errands. It might be run to the bank. Hey, go grab some burgers, grab some coffee for everybody in the salon. And they're not thinking,
Yeah.
hey, there could be an accident. And if there is, well, is my business actually protected in that situation? And a lot of times they're not.
Yeah, I never did pick up and delivery for that very reason, because I would just tell people I'm not insured for that. And wow, but you don't think of it when somebody runs and goes for lunch. You guys write workers' comp as well, I assume, correct?
Yes, we
Okay.
do.
Yeah, a couple of things. Yeah, well, Paulina Anderson, former board member here, she's got you guys for insured. That's it. You write her with she's got a big salon and a foundation. Travelers in Mercury. Yep, that's it. Shop your insurance. And Rick, of course, Rick Brosley with Kennel Connection and Hello Groom. Regardless of insure you insure through, you guys will give a 15-minute free policy review. Bring your insurance to them. Right. And question, you guys going to be in Pasadena, right?
Yeah, we'll be there.
We will be.
You know your booth number yet? You sure or not? Not sure.
No, we got a booth number. I don't know what it is. I have to go on the website.
Whatever it is. But yeah, you guys are going to be there. So is this like an open invitation for people to bring their policy to you and have them take a look? Have you guys take a look at it?
Absolutely.
Most certainly, it is. Yeah, we bring our computers. We do quotes right on the spot, policy reviews right on the spot, and this will be, I think, our third year in
Very
Pasadena.
Very cool. That's terrific. We're looking forward to that. Do you have anything else that you want to add in closing with this? I think we covered quite a bit of basic stuff, but personally, I think I see another interview with you guys down the road somewhere. Do you
One
have
I want to
anything?
say, since we are in California, we have unique risks in California, and we talk about workers' compensation. You mentioned that. Zach and I have kind of like a story, I guess it would be. What would you call it? A horror story, workers' comp horror story. That as a grooming salon owner, you should think about. So in the state of California, you can have workers' comp coverage, and as an owner, you can exclude yourself. That's allowed.
Yes.
So basically, your payroll doesn't have to come out or be figured into your rating of your policy. We had a dog daycare owner that was doing a meet and greet with a golden retriever. Golden retriever went and bit her ear off, completely off. And so the dog daycare owner, obviously, this Southern California, went to the hospital. They do their intake. Hey, what happened? I got bit by a dog. Where did this happen? Well, it happened at my salon. And so it was, Zach, what was it, like $300,000 reconstructive surgery?
It was a $300,000 reconstructive surgery. She obviously was doing her job, so the pet owner was not held responsible for those expenses. Her health insurance would not cover that bill because she was injured on the job, and she had excluded herself on her work comp policy. And the $300,000 that was paid out of her pocket could have been avoided by including herself on her workers' compensation policy to the tune of $1,600 a year. So I will hear all day, every day, I don't need work comp coverage because I don't have any employees. And I say, yeah, by law, you don't need to, but we recommend you to have it because you're dealing with the pets and you never know what's going to happen. And on top of it, you mobile groomers are driving job site to job site and are in the vehicle all day long. So it's something that we recommend you to have and cover yourself. It's not too expensive in the grand scheme of things, too. protect yourself if you get injured on the job.
May I just put a side note to that? Happened to my ex. We signed off on the workers' comp in the salon we had together in South Florida. He fell, broke his thumb, something, and they said, "Oh no, you're not covered under that because you're not covered." And of course, the health insurance says, "Oh no, put that in your workers' comp." Side note:
Yep.
a similar instance of a gentleman who owned a hardware store in South Florida slipped and fell in his salon, in his own shop, his own hardware store, was not covered under workers' comp. He sued himself and won.
Wow.
He sued.
Probably still paying for it.
He sued himself.
Sounds like something that happens in California.
Probably wouldn't happen in California. Good Lord. All right. Once again, tonight, ladies and gentlemen that are listening, this has been a super, super um, wonderful interview. And I can see a few more of these happening down the road. I tell you, we have, and I really want to thank Zach Davis and Chaz Grunder, the owners of Pet Business Insurance. Where can they reach you? Where can they find you? Give us a website. Give us some information.
So our
You can
website.
easily find us.
No, Zach's
Go
going
ahead,
for it.
Chaz.
No, Zach, you got.
You can easily find us with a quick Google search, Pet Business Insurance or petbusinessinsurance.com. We're on all the socials. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff. I think we provide probably the most value on our Instagram page and YouTube with educational content, and then of course our website with the blogs. We're not hard to find.
Obviously not. It says, your name says it all, Pet Business Insurance, and it is petbusinessinsurance.com. And if you are a member of the CPPGA or even on our mailing list, it's not like they can give a sponsor of the month discount, okay, which a lot of the sponsor of the month do. But they just gave you some information that is even more valuable than a discount. And I'm sure if you can get yourself a 15-minute evaluation of what you have and what you need, bring your policies to Pasadena, please. And Zach and Chaz and their staff will be happy to take care of you. And once again, I want to thank Jack and Chaz for joining us this evening on Wind Down. Salute to you both. We appreciate it. I think this is going to be one of the more viewed wind downs that we've had in a while, because this is a major good one. Hang on to just a few minutes after I close on out. But I thank everybody for joining me tonight. Once again, don't forget we have a CPR class coming up in Lincoln later on this month. And I want to say it's probably like on the 18th or something to that effect. Not sure of the date. Check on the website, cppga.org. Book one for your salon. I tell you, everybody you've got to know what's going on with the animals, and put those Pasadena dates on your calendar. Once again, thank you all for joining us. Hang on, guys, and we'll see you next week. I'm not sure who's got Wind Down next week. As you know, we've been putting it back and forth between board members because you got kind of bored of looking at me every week, so this is fun. Okay, catch up with you later. Zach, Chaz, thank you very much for joining us. Everyone, cheers. Salute.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week. And we're done. Thanks a lot, guys. That was good. We had some good feedback in there, and I think you're going to get. I think we're all going to get some action out of this, because this will continue. We'll share it on a couple of the other groups, and I think this is a real good one. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Terry. We appreciate it. I'm pretty sure Chaz, Mr. Tech, on our team recorded this as well. So we'll be making some like YouTube shorts and Instagram shorts and splicing it up.
Absolutely.
And sharing some content.
You want to put the whole thing on wherever you want to. Yeah, we'll put this. This will be on all of the groups. And we got a lot of good feedback here. Replying, update on your CPR class. Yeah, whatever. We'll catch this later. All right. Thank you.